You wake up every single day and tell yourself the exact same lie. Seriously, think about the visceral, physiological response you had just this past week. That blinding anger that hits you when someone casually cuts you off in traffic. Or that sudden burning rage when a friend cancels plans at the absolute last minute. Or maybe it's that quiet, suffocating bitterness sitting heavy in your chest when your daily routine just feels completely empty. You call it the world's fault, right? You point outward. You blame your boss, your partner, the economy. Well, this explainer strips that fragile illusion away entirely. The brutal truth established by leading psychological researchers in today's source material is that your anger is a ghost. Those intense feelings of being blocked, trapped, and sabotaged, they are entirely self-inflicted. So ask yourself, who is really controlling your reactions? Confront this directly, right now. You automatically assume your thoughts and emotions are self-generated because, well, it deeply soothes your ego to feel like you're in control. But that assumption is a quiet killer. Your own unexamined mind isn't just some passive passenger in your life. It is an active, hostile threat. It dictates your failures, your outbursts, and your retreats before you even realize a conscious choice was made. You think you're reacting to the present moment with perfect clarity? No, you're reacting to shadows. The brutal truth of this analysis boils down to this quote: "You are a mystery to yourself. Your true identity stays hidden, while old wounds from childhood run the show." Why is that? Because the human brain is a relentless pattern recognition machine. The exact second a present situation even slightly resembles a past unmet need, say a moment you felt ignored, powerless, or unloved, the psychological alarm bells start ringing. You react to a ghost. And your intellect, your clever defenses, they mean absolutely nothing here. If you refuse to admit this mechanism is running in the background, nothing changes. Let's look at how this actually plays out. That sudden rage you feel isn't actually about the canceled dinner. It's a physiological echo. It's a direct projection of old, buried childhood denial. The outside trigger, the traffic, the text message, the passed-over promotion, that's merely the match. The childhood wound, that's the gasoline. You have to force yourself to see this dynamic for exactly what it is. If you keep fiercely believing that your emotions are pure, rational reactions to the outside world, you guarantee you'll stay locked in a perpetual cycle of victimhood. And the cost of this psychological ignorance? It multiplies with terrifying speed. Let's trace it out. Day 1, unchecked frustration. You brush it off as just a bad mood. Month 1, sabotaged connections. You start burning vital bridges over completely imagined slights, entirely convinced everyone is secretly against you. Year 1, compounding isolation. The people who genuinely wanted to help you have quietly backed away. By year 5, you're staring down the barrel of wasted potential, wondering where the time went. Days turn into years, hope thins out until it is gone completely. Without relentless, persistent self-examination, you drift straight down this timeline into absolute obscurity. So, how do we break this? Breaking this psychological loop requires an unyielding 3-step framework for survival. Number 1, acknowledge the problem. Number 2, probe the emotion. And number 3, visualize the new ideal. Understand this immediately, though. True assimilation of this framework requires time and absolute persistence. This isn't some gentle self-care routine, and it's definitely not a quick weekend retreat exercise. It is a brutal confrontation with the darkest, most reactive parts of your own psychology. Let's break down exactly how to execute each phase, starting with the deeply uncomfortable admission of guilt. Which brings us to strategy 1, face the hidden enemy inside. If you keep believing you already fully know yourself, you are in immediate danger. The people who ignore this cognitive dissonance spend their lives scrolling, drinking, and chasing empty dopamine wins while the internal void only grows wider. You have to stop explaining away your sudden anger or sadness with convenient excuses. Treat the unknown parts of yourself as an active threat stealing your vital energy. Discomfort is the price of entry here. Looking inward feels exactly like staring into a pitch-black room where you know something is moving. Most people turn away immediately. They call this kind of deep practice soft or unnecessary. But that refusal is the real danger. Scrutinize the thoughts that feel most natural. Question the emotions fiercely protecting your ego. Pay the painful price of entry or remain a total stranger to your own life, perpetually wondering why nothing ever feels solid. Strategy 2, hunt the emotion back to its root. Think about it. Frustration rises. A message goes unanswered for a few hours. The instant intoxicating impulse is to blame the other person, right? To react impulsively, maybe firing off a passive-aggressive reply just to reclaim a sense of power. The text explicitly warns against that exact move. Resist the impulse. Step back. Viewing slight resistance from anyone as a deliberate attack is projection. It's operating completely through a distorted past lens. The past projects directly onto the present. When you're finally calm, you need to command yourself to probe the emotion to its absolute origin. Ask the hard, terrifying questions. Was it really what they did? Or does this connect to a time you were hopelessly blocked in the past? Leave this unexamined, and it steers you straight into isolation. Relationships crack under the weight of expectations the other person didn't even know existed. You must realize the ruthless introspection that the person in front of you isn't the true cause. You're projecting. Now, once you finally identify the projection, the false narrative collapses and its power over you drops. But the kinetic energy remains. That same raw force that exploded into anger can be deliberately redirected. Point that sheer energy at building a new skill. Show up consistently when you feel like quitting. Create something physical that outlasts the temporary mood. Think of an elite basketball player or a master artist. They don't suppress their rage or despair. No, they transmute it. They turn raw aggression into devastating execution on the court or the canvas. You must demand the exact same transmutation of yourself. Redirect your reclaimed psychological power to build lasting meaning. Because without this crucial outlet, that raw energy just burns you from the inside out, leaving absolutely nothing but exhaustion. Moving on to strategy 3, burn the new picture into your mind. This phase is all about deliberate, unyielding imprinting. The source analysis places immense weight on regular visualization because any idea held long enough in the subconscious actually bends reality. It literally takes physical shape. You must consider yourself exactly as you want to be, setting that ideal as close to perfection as your mind can possibly hold. And this demands relentless practice. We're talking a 20 to 30-minute quiet stretch every single day. Relaxing the body completely to bypass the nervous system's defenses, seeing and deeply feeling the detailed scene of your desired reality, and then deliberately carrying fragments of that visceral feeling into your ordinary hours. Understand this clearly. This is not daydreaming. This is the forceful installation of a new operating system in your brain. The internal phrases you hear become your physical convictions. Your mental habits shape your permanent identity. You have to train the mind to keep these specific, powerful thoughts running in the background constantly, overriding the old ghosts. Treat this practice as optional, and your old reality solidifies like concrete. The subconscious mind, left entirely on autopilot, will just keep manufacturing the familiar emptiness you've always known. In that scenario, success remains a word other people use. It just becomes a spectator sport. But if you make these sessions absolutely non-negotiable, your identity begins to violently shift. The visceral feeling created by this daily visualization acts as a psychological magnet. It determines what you actually draw into your life, the specific ideas, the right people, the rare chances. Refuse the practice, claim you're too busy or too tired, and you keep drawing the exact opposite, actively ensuring your own continued failure. Ultimately, these 3 strategies only work when they stay linked together like armor. Admission opens the heavy door, probing clears the dangerous emotional wiring, visualization installs the new operating picture. Walk the path or remain inside the closed loop. The alternative is continued helpless drift. It's allowing unknown inner forces to decide your reactions, while your unexamined projections slowly damage your present reality. Without this framework, your desired future never receives the mental fuel it needs to actually arrive. So the choice is yours. Are you ready to finally step out of the loop and take control, or will you let the ghosts keep driving your life into the ground?